I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. I ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, had me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me.
Welcome to Millionaire Before 30, where we are on a mission.
Bro, we are on a mission, that is right. As you guys know, we have literally designed this show to give you guys the exact blueprint of how to become a millionaire before the age of 30 years old. I'm Ryan Zolan.
I am Brent Daniels, Mr. Talk to People, and this show is going to be absolutely bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan, introduce our guest, because this is going to just, I hope people are watching this. I hope their brain, the synapses inside of their brain are firing, because this is going to be incredible.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be wild.
We have the man, the myth, the legend. I mean, dude, how many titles can we go? We can go real estate flipper and entrepreneur.
Yep.
We've got stock trader.
Yep.
We've got luxury car flipper. We've got, what else am I missing? Plane flipper now. I mean, let's keep it going. We got the man, Ricky Guitierrez. So.
I appreciate it. No, thank you guys for having me. So I'm really excited to answer a couple of questions that your audience brings to us and see what value we can provide.
Absolutely.
So, Ricky, first off, how old are you?
I just turned 27.
27 years old. You're doing stocks. So let's get into this, right? So this is day trading. This is
day trading and swing trading. So I mainly focus on blue chip stocks. So like right now, tech stocks are down. So we were just talking about it earlier. One of my favorite things to focus on is consistency. I think, there's so many avenues, just like real estate, with the stock market, in which you can try to pursue to make money. We have a lot of beginners that watch our videos, and I just want to make sure that we build a strong foundation first, in which then they can build off of. So my focus right now is tech stocks. With the talk of interest rates, tech stocks always plummet. Right now, Amazon, Facebook, Tesla, everything's down. That is my favorite time to buy. I load up when everyone else is selling. And then simply when the market recovers, that's when we begin to lock in profits. I do choose to or tend to trade with a little bit more money than someone that's just getting started, but it's the same concept, right? So it's like the proof of concept, and then once you have a good working system, just like anything, you scale. Right?
Is that your 80-20? Is that 80% of your day, your efforts, your attention is watching this, or you wake up, you get going, and you put in your whatever, you make your decisions?
Yeah, so
and then
the way that my mornings start Monday through Friday is I trade live every morning. So I have a group, and every single morning at market open, I'm with them for about 30 minutes to an hour. After that, for the past 2 weeks, market's been selling off. So there's been no reason to focus on day trading when direction's not in my favor, and there's no focus or no reason to really aggressively buy the dip when the market's still dipping, right? It's like a very big misconception where like you can time the market perfectly. We focus on position size and we focus on direction. Now, today was one of the first days, literally in the past 2 weeks, I think we're on day 17, that the market is finally beginning to indicate signs of a support. So this is the time where, I can take a couple of day trades where it makes sense to trade, right? So one big focus that we have within our trading group is opportunities not on our schedule, we're on opportunity schedule. It is our, for the past 2 weeks, I probably spend about 30 to 45 minutes trading, as in like just watching the market. Other than that, I set my alerts and I move on with the rest of my day. The whole focus is to be efficient, right? It's not going to be of benefit to me to watch Facebook bleed from 140 all the way down to 120. There's no benefit from there, right? Especially a lot of the people that we have that are part of our group have full-time jobs or full-time students, and again, their focus should be to be efficient with their time. So now that the market's beginning to recover, my alerts are going off, then that's when it makes sense when I can spend 8 hours in front of a screen. If the opportunity begins to present itself, just like with real estate, right?
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. Not only that, though. I mean, we're getting into stocks where everybody's like, wait a second. This is kind of a real estate channel.
Of course.
This is wholesaling. You also flipped a property and made 7 figures in Paradise Valley.
So it was 7 figures gross. Our net was, and I had 3 partners. So I was very fortunate to have been presented this deal. So a lot of you guys might know him. His name's Colby. He presented.
He was on the show.
Yeah, so he presented me this deal after he ran through every other investor in
Sure.
Gilbert.
Right.
And unfortunately, again, I have a great partner. His name is Nick Palladino. When it comes down to the house flips, we try to be very conservative. I do not do for everyone watching, I do not do house flips in the 7 figures. Most of my properties, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000.
Yep.
That's our bread and butter.
Yep.
This was something that was a complete outlier. This was something that was different to us. And that was exciting because it's the challenges that come with new territory. And it really opened my eyes where then after we closed on this Paradise Valley house flip, we finalized everything. We came out on top. Colby presented to me this other flip in Scottsdale that we're actually under contract on, and we got it for 1.275 or something like that. And right now it's under contract for 1.5. So
Fantastic.
very fortunate to be so well connected with, just so many proactive real estate investors and agents in the Arizona area. So as of right now, Nick and I have a total of, I think it's 8 with him. And then I think my property with Colby makes it 9. So 9 flips that we have under contract.
And how did you get those flips?
So 50%. Nick likes to say 40%, but I would say 50% of our house flips are sourced through social media.
Wait a second. What are you talking about? Like people DM you?
So
deals?
people like right now watching, I think one of the biggest values is, one of the biggest things that rubs me the wrong way is, and I heard her comment on it that she thought I was younger, and it's usually a lot younger people are always like, as soon as they begin to make money, like you write millionaire under 30, millionaires under 25, 20, they become so entitled that they're like, I have my niche, I make money, I don't need anyone else to tell me how to do anything. Right. For me, it was like, I didn't care about that. I really valued working with people, regardless of their following, regardless of how much money they make. And I think because we approached real estate in such with an open mindset, we began to network with a lot of the people that just followed us. And again, 50% of our flips are found and sourced through people that follow us. We pay them finder's fees, direct to sellers. We're cash buyers, and almost except for one person that's part of my team, everyone was someone that followed me on Instagram.
No kidding.
Love it.
So one is my cousin. The only other person everyone else were just people that followed me on Instagram. They were more talented in those specific areas and niches than I was.
Yep.
And that's the whole point of a complementing partnership.
For sure.
Right?
So how did that transition go from like stock day trading to real estate? I mean, obviously you were doing really well with the stock. So like, was it just you saw opportunity in real estate? Was it like a passion or interest that you had for a while?
I get bored.
Okay.
So again, I trade for, if the market's active, a couple of hours, right? I bought my first house at 20. So that was actually my first video ever on YouTube.
Awesome.
But it was a property that I lived in, and then I rented the 2 rooms out to my friends.
Hacking?
Yep.
Love
And
it.
then I bought my neighbor's house, and then I rented all of those rooms out. Then I bought 2 condos. So I was like trying to be active somewhat with real estate, and then I blew up on YouTube, and then kind of the real estate thing kind of slowed down for me, as that wasn't my main focus. And then it came back to like, I started seeing everyone like just flipping and flipping. There's this one guy, Lenny, literally had less than 500 followers on Instagram, but he's someone I met through the car, kind of like through a car rally.
Okay.
And I saw him flipping. I was like, at the end of the day, like this guy was already doing well. And my encouragement to everyone ever watching this is always like, you see all the people that you follow them for some specific reason, probably because they do well. You reaching out to them and wanting to do well is not special. Everyone wants to do well.
Sure.
It's asking, I don't care about my platform. I don't care about how many followers I have. My question before I reached out to Lenny, who only had 500 followers, and I had just as many cool cars as he did, was removing all that from the table, is how can I be of value to this person? And I think that's where it came down to, where then I began to be a hard money lender. He began to allow me to shadow him. I got my foot in the door. Lenny Then he has a what's it called? A brokerage. Nick, my business partner, then became a real estate agent under his brokerage.
Love it.
Nick has purchased, I think, his first 2 to 3 properties from Lenny. Sorry about that, headphone users. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like any crazy story that like, oh my God, like I just, something hit me one day where, no, I just saw someone killing it in a different niche. And I was like, that looks dope. I have the time. I don't need the money, but it's like, I want to be as proactive as I can in the areas and in the markets that I see value in. So real estate, the cars, and then e-commerce have been my biggest 3 avenues that I've been expanding on ever since, our trading took off.
Wow. Love it. Albert, what's up, man?
What's going on, everybody?
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good to see you.
Great knowledge drops. And there's 2 points that I was taking down here, writing some notes here that, Ricky, you brought a good point. It's the age thing. And I was talking to Kobe and Nick about this the other day, but it's crazy to think that sometimes in this in the real estate world, right, you gotta be like an older folk. You got to be like well versed and stuff like that. And here's like, what's this 20-year-old know about flipping a house? What are these 20-year-olds doing buying, the biggest purchase that most families do? And you hit the nail on the head. It's going in with this bravado, with this confidence, and being very open about it, saying, I don't know everything. I'm willing to learn. Of
course.
But don't doubt that I don't know nothing either.
Exactly.
Right? You're walking in, and then the second point you brought up was you ventured into your avenues after you built a rock solid business. You didn't jump into them immediately. And, we talk about this on the show often. There's a million ways to make money, right?
Yep.
You can do everything. But if you don't build a rock solid business first to start, you're going to be spread too thin.
Yep.
Right. And I really like that you said you ventured into it after your trading business.
Exactly.
And it's very important to note on that.
It's always, I think, really important for someone that's, I wouldn't say it's needed, but I would say it's one of my biggest reasons that I began to do well in every niche. So when I started trading at a sales-based job, it provided me with a stable income. I didn't need the income that I was making with trading. It was something, and it was a hobby that I enjoyed. Transitioning into real estate when I had my rental properties, I didn't need that income, but I chose to do it because there were values that I enjoyed. Sure. Buying and selling cars, I don't need that income, but again, I just sold my R8.
Yep.
I bought it for $115,000, sold it for $130,000, $15,000 after putting 4,000 or 5,000 miles on a supercar. That's the, world we live in today. It's just spend time and embrace the challenges that come in, these like creative markets, because nothing's guaranteed, right? Like the amount of money that I made off of that one house flip in Paradise Valley, I didn't work super hard. I didn't. I didn't. Not at all. I worked 10 times as hard when I was working at Verizon Wireless as a sales representative. But it's not about that. It's based off of the opportunities that end up presenting themselves, and you can either take action in a calculated way, or you can see it pass by.
For sure.
Love it. Matt, is there a way that we can pop up Ricky's YouTube channel just so that everybody can see that if they're interested in that? I'm sure they will be after this conversation that we have. So let's make sure we pop that up as well. But you're right. When you get bored, that's when things start getting crazy, right?
Yep.
Idle hands do the devil's work, they say. You know what I mean? So we have to find something that keeps us busy, especially if you grow a business and you have an incredible team around it, and you're able to really look at it from a higher level and see what you want to do with it based on the goals that you have, based on the passions that you have, based on what you feel your purpose is here to go out and provide value to the marketplace, to the community. So I love it. I love that you're kind of into all of these different things, and I think that you go at it, I assume, in a calculated way where you're building the relationship, you're putting in the time before you're just jumping in.
Of course.
Right? I mean, you're putting in, who knows, 10, 20, 30 hours of research before, here we go. Tech Bud Solutions, Ricky Guitierrez. Over 1 million YouTube subscribers, everybody. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. Wow. How does that feel? million subscribers. I know that you said the first 100,000, that was the milestone, right?
Yeah.
That was the one that you were like, oh, what is that, like a silver plaque that YouTube gives you, right?
Silver plaque for 100,000, and then
gold one for $1 million.
Yeah, it's just like, again, for real estate, when you source your first deal after spending so much time, right? For the first deal, it always takes months, usually on hand, right? After that, and then once you have a good system working, trust me, it feels great having these series of projects in line and in place, under contract, ready to flip. But now it's a system, it's a business.
Yep.
It's now we're trying to get it as well as a well-oiled machine as we can. But it's always like when you flip your first car, when you take your first trade, when you make your first profit on anything, that I feel like for me, for YouTube, was like, damn, 100,000 subscribers. I think that's what I really enjoyed.
So Verizon Wireless to
So
youngest millionaire in Gilbert, like,
yeah, and
walk through that transition, because a lot of people are going to want to know.
So let's not forget, I used to work for T-Mobile in California, and then when I moved to Arizona, right? So I'll talk a little bit more about my backstory, just so you guys know
so
that
you're obviously from a lot of wealth, and you have a big nest egg of money that was given to you.
So easy.
And they made you go and work at these retail shops and these, you know, the Verizon.
So my dad owns T-Mobile.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Spoon-fed here.
Yeah, no, I think one of my biggest things is I love to encourage people to have a stable income. I don't care if it's a sales-based, if anything, I encourage people, commission or sales-based jobs, something where you can go beyond just the hours that you input every single day. I started at T-Mobile. It was an amazing sales-based job. I made about $60K when I was 18 and 19. Think about that. I lived at home. First off, that is a benefit, right? My dad's a tile man, general contractor. He came from Mexico. Came to California, you know, built my family. My mom's a stay-at-home mom, and yeah, I mean that's the background when it comes down to that. Like, my dad is a tile man, right? There's always food provided for me on the table, but I mean, I didn't wake up with like a nanny, or it wasn't anything like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that I became so aware of money during 2008, 2009. My dad was an unlicensed contractor. Market crashes, no work. I saw their relationship, and I saw my parents as like the epitome of like the perfect couple. Yeah. I saw how money can distress a relationship. I was like, I want to make sure that my future family, again, I was raised very traditionally, so Catholic, and you know, you wait till just super traditional. And I was like, I want to make sure I work as hard as I can now, so my family never has to go through that struggle. That was my initial like somewhat motivation to like not have my parents or my dad have to pay for anything. I started buying and selling things, you know, started trying to learn how to, you know, make money. Trading came about, buying and reselling phones came about, buying and reselling cars came about. I had great influences around me, right? I was 18. I wanted to move to Arizona. I wanted to buy a house. I knew I couldn't afford a house in California.
Why'd you want to buy a house? You're 18 years old. Why do you want to? I didn't want to buy a house at 18. At 18, I wanted to go to college, have fun, have some beers.
Let me not give all credit to wanting to buy a house. That's not originally what sparked. I watched an I'm Schmacked video. Now, my girlfriend watching this is going to be like, I wanted to join a fraternity at ASU. I wanted to go to ASU Tempe. That's what sparked my interest. That's what made me apply. I then got accepted. I had a girlfriend at the time. It wasn't going to be very realistic for me to join a fraternity.
Right.
I went to ASU Poly, which is the engineering campus. Engineering and aviation. I was like, I want to be local around there. I'm getting a full-time job. I didn't even have the job guaranteed. I went from California. I quit my job at T-Mobile. That was paying well for being 19. And then, again, moved to Arizona. Got the job at Verizon. It started at like 60 to 70K a year. And I became one of the top sales reps there. I got pre-qualified for my house. The way that just everything happened was just like, I remember being in California, being at the gym, believe it or not, right? I remember looking at Zillow, and I saw these properties going for $155,000, $160,000. Like, I think I can afford that. I didn't know. So I got in contact with the real estate agent. I got in contact with the lender. I knew I couldn't qualify then because I needed to have a certain amount of money saved. But I was like, what do I need to do to then qualify? How do I work towards it? Building a small little roadmap. 4 or 5 months later, I saved enough money. I was saving all my money even prior. I had enough money saved. I got pre-qualified. My credit score was where it needed to be. And I got pre-qualified for my first house. And that was kind of like the trickle effect of, you know, I still kept my job. I was still up, like, I was pulling up at Verizon, just so you guys know. This was like before anything like huge. I already had my YouTube. I was already trading. I had my 4 properties at the time with my McLaren MP4 12C. I had a Corvette Z06 and I had 2 bikes. So I'd buy and resell these cars.
Yeah.
Everyone would always ask me like why I would still work there. My thing wasn't like, oh, I felt like I was too good to work at Verizon. It was never about that. It was always based off of I only wanted to drop the stable income that I had making at Verizon when I can utilize the 5 to 8 hours that I would spend there and invest it in a better area where I can then make more.
Sure.
It wasn't about, oh, I want to then now sleep in for an extra 8 hours.
Right.
It wasn't about that luxury. That wasn't ever my concern. That wasn't ever my focus. My focus was until opportunity ends up presenting itself greater in other areas, I'm not going to drop this. I don't care if it's not worth my time. I don't have anywhere else to spend the time. And then I blew up on social. Transitioned from there, doubled down on it, and then went from 180,000 to like 350,000 in like 3 to 4 months.
And you wanted to look at your manager every day that you went there with that good car and just say, "Yeah, you see that car?
No, like
yeah, you tell me you want me to do something. I'm gonna do it anyway. Tell me you want me."
No,
I'm just kidding.
I actually recently saw him at Walmart, and I love shopping at Walmart because it's the cheapest. But I saw him there, and he follows me on social media. He was an amazing guy, and it was just
awesome.
It's super encouraging, I think, just to keep a very I don't know. I've never been big on trying to make myself feel better or greater than anyone else just based off of my accomplishments or anything like that, because especially in today's world, so much opportunity is presented in such a strange way that it could be Colby? Colby was someone that followed me 1 year into my following. He came to me with a startup idea, and I met up with him and my business partner and Colby, and I met up with him at Fired Pie. I didn't invest in his idea, but it's those were the type of conversations that I wanted to have, where I took the time to, meet with all these different people. So,
Wow. Yeah. So Brent recently touched on this just a few minutes ago, but he was talking about a passion and drive and everything, goals. You've done so many things right now. What's next? What's the big picture? What's the end goal? What does that look like?
The HQ. So our goal is still scaling everything. With the real estate, we've been into it for about 1.5 to 2 years. I would love to continue to scale that and to build more of a stable way to source deals where it doesn't just have to be based from my social media following, right? So that would be a big goal for that. Our e-commerce brand, we do a couple 6 figures off of just the apparel and the mouse pads. I want to build it into an actual brand. We're one of the biggest out there already, but building it as an actual brand where it's not dependent on me.
For sure.
And then we have our HQ. So our first day open is actually on Monday.
Awesome.
So it's going to be our grand opening, and it's just going to be kind of like a WeWork, which is a co-working space, but a little bit more personable. Not just for traders, but for any local entrepreneurs that want a co-working space, and it's in the Chandler area. So
that's the building you bought.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I love that.
And of course,
I love that.
Baby girl. So
yes.
due dates tomorrow. So that's
Baby
definitely
girl's about to be here.
About to pop.
That's so exciting.
Baby mama's
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
I
That's
appreciate it.
fantastic.
Thank you.
I love when I banged the stool against the table. Ricky's like, well, sorry to the people with the headphones when we have this bell that we ring when anybody gets a deal.
Right.
So I think that they're used to it, but I appreciate that you're looking out for them. But we do not.
Yeah.
We do not look out for the people in headphones.
Brent's
Okay.
just banging stuff around.
If you're in my world, I am going to get inside your head. I'm going to get inside your ear, through your eardrums. So absolutely incredible. I want to start cracking this open. Do we have enough people asking questions, commenting, getting going so that we can just start firing this up? We've been asking the questions. Let's let the audience ask the questions. Before we do, Albert,
I did have
deals this week?
Oh,
Deals this week? Deals last week? What are we
Listen,
working on, bro?
If you guys didn't follow us on social media, you definitely should have, because our board filled up, and I found the biggest board
I saw that board.
Yeah, we are.
You need a
filling
bigger
it up.
board.
We do need a bigger board. There's another side to fill, and we're well on our way to filling it. So, awesome week, man. Awesome. week.
How much do you have pending?
We've got 17 on the board. We've got over 200,000 closing in the next week and a half.
Come on.
We've got 2 closing today. One is 25, 170. We just it's beautiful.
Where are you finding these deals?
Bro, come on.
Come on, where are you
Come
finding
on.
them?
We
Come
got
on.
the MLS.
What?
We got the MLS.
You can't get deals on the MLS.
17 on the board.
No,
I
it's
swear
too
to you,
competitive.
14 of them are from the MLS. So
14 deals from
Just in
real
the
estate
last
agents
2.5
with
weeks.
listings that are on the market.
yes,
Yes, sir.
that's how we roll.
Come on.
I mean, Ricky knows it.
Come on.
Yeah. No,
Come on.
Well, learning a lot from you. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you for the background on that. Incredible. I mean,
Appreciate
just
it.
absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, and I assume the missing piece of that from 60 grand to millionaire was the stocks you're trading. You
So
built it up.
it was a combination of everything. Also, I mean, the real estate market was so beneficial with, I was investing in the bull run.
Yeah.
So all the equity that I was able to build in a very short period of time.
So you use real estate to get equity to put into the market.
Wow.
It was everything. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the buying and selling of cars. And then once I started on social, also being able to connect with big influencers that had more money than me.
Right.
And I was buying and selling cars with them. So
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
So
Because you were loud, because you weren't hiding, because you decided to go out and put yourself out in the world with all the rejection and all the silliness and all the love and all the attention and all of that, you were brave enough to go out and be loud.
I think the biggest thing is definitely people always are so concerned of not having money. I don't know how many people are watching this right now, but if that's your biggest concern of, I don't have money to get started, if you find a deal in any market,
Money will come.
in real estate, in cars, that is where the biggest value is. Money, you can message any one of us. Trust me, that's not a concern.
Right.
So I think that's when I began to realize that, especially at a very early age, I never took no as an answer. I just tried to figure a way on how to get that funding.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Really fast before we jump into questions, I just got one selfish question. What's your favorite car you've driven?
I would have to say the car I have right now, and then
Okay.
my 720S. So I have a Ferrari F8. I'm reselling, and then I had a McLaren 720S, and I really enjoyed that one as well. All the other
Nice.
cars are
Love it.
nice, but those are my two
Love
favorite.
it. Love it. Love it.
Awesome. Let's crack this open,
do
Handra.
it.
You brought somebody snuck the bell over here. Justin, Brent, you told me next time I comment that I better have a deal. That's right, Justin. Well, me and my partner are closing on a $6K assignment fee tomorrow. The momentum is downhill from here. Congratulations, Justin. Here we go.
Oh my God!
Is that a new bell, Brent? New bell?
Bell.
Crispy new bell. That old bell over there, Ricky, we broke that. We rang that too many.
Too many deals.
Too many
Too many
people.
deals.
Too
All
many
right,
deals.
Too many deals. We're celebrating,
I like that.
recognizing, and loving on everybody. Congratulations, Justin. Now, let's add a 0 to that, brother. Let's make that a massive 60K deal. We find what we're looking for. So turn those mental antennas into finding those big opportunities. But 6K, I am telling you, that is wonderful. That is incredible. That is proof of concept. That is going from faith to fact, brother. So congratulations. The faith paid off. Now rinse and repeat, knowing that you can do this again and again and again and again. Incredible.
Love it.
Absolutely incredible. A&A, when he thinks the market is crashing this year.
I think it's when does he think that
Yeah.
the market is crashing?
Yep.
Where's the crystal ball?
Even during
I guess
so-
it depends on which market is he talking.
Yeah, well, I think he's talking about because the NASDAQ market
Right.
is pulling on. Well, every market's pulling on back. And my biggest thing is I never tell people what stocks to buy. I don't sell signals, nothing like that. My biggest focus is I like sharing the why. Why is the market selling off? And then that's what my main focus is with the YouTube channel. So if you're asking that question, the market right now is pulling on back, especially NASDAQ, which has a big focus on tech because interest rates are going up. Anytime, for you to understand this correlation, anytime interest rates rise, tech stocks pull back. When interest rates drop, tech stocks go up, right? This is so important to understand because right now, today was one of the actual, last time I checked, market was in the green, and that would be the first green day in the past 15 to 16 days. I can't predict the future. All I know is that even during the worst, right, the pandemic for the past 2 years was one of the worst pullbacks that we've seen in a while. That one took about 45 days of how long it took for it to sell off and then indicate signs of a recovery. Right now, we're on day 16, 17. All I know is that year over year, the NASDAQ market continues to make higher highs and higher lows. So it's not about, that I'm scared that the market's going to crash. That's not, in any way or in any market, it all comes at some form of risk. My focus is to focus on quality companies. And as the market sells off, I'm buying right now Apple, I'm buying Amazon, I'm buying Facebook, I'm buying any tech stock that I see that can make it, not only just make a recovery, but will also continue to thrive. Tesla's a little bit different, but Tesla's a very popular stock right now. It dropped yesterday below under 1,000. It was previously at 1,300, right? So thinking and taking that into consideration, that's 30% potential that it offers if it were to make a recovery. Not that it has to right away, but again, it's talking about like, I like to buy when everyone else is selling, and I take a small position, so I'm not fully invested, but a small position. And then once the market begins to indicate signs of recovery, that's when I step on the gas. I allow it to recover to previous highs. I lock in a portion of my profit, and then I play with the market's money is what it's called, and just kind of let it continue to coast.
So why does tech go down when interest rates go up?
So, to my understanding, the correlation between bond yields, right? And then we saw this during like the midst of the pandemic where interest rates were beginning to drop. That's when we saw that huge bull run for real estate. But also, if a lot of people like to point this out, tech stocks, especially like the major like 5 tech stocks, like nearly, what was it? Tesla, like, what did it go from? It went from like $500-$600 from the very bottom all the way up to $1,300, and we hit all these like crazy milestones during like supposedly one of the worst times in our economy, where Apple hit a 3 trillion market cap, Tesla nearly hit a 1 trillion market cap, where all these huge tech companies, they're super inflated. But again, it's just the way that these markets tend to react due to interest rates, and then why lower interest rates are more beneficial to overall tech stocks.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Awesome. So, there you go. Ricky, what's up with the crypto market? Is it a good buy right now?
Yeah, I personally don't. I don't make videos really on crypto. I have before. I don't trade crypto. But again, the way that I view it is there's still money to be made. There's still opportunity. It's not something that I'm huge on. I view it to be much more risky, much more volatile. All I do is right now that it's selling off, I'll buy a little bit. As it recovers, I'll sell it. That's all. So I bought like 10 Ethereum, I think at 3,500. So if you look at the price, I didn't buy at the best price. My focus, even with the market or anything like that, it's never about like, I can't time the market. I can't predict the future. My focus is to buy at oversold levels and to sell at overbought levels.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
From the same
Brent, get to see you today at the Wholesale Sharks. All right. I'll see you out there. I get a whole 10 minutes on stage, so make sure that you're ready. No, it's going to be awesome. I will be speaking on stage, and then we're doing a panel. That's going to be really, really fun. So anybody that is in the Phoenix area, Wholesale Sharks, that is at 5 o'clock. That starts at 5 o'clock this evening. And it's going to be really fun. Incredible people. My man Jamil's going to be there. You're going to be there. So it's going to be great. Awesome.
From Jason, how fast on average is it for someone to hop on, learn, plan, profit, and start to see success, entering as a complete newbie?
So our biggest focus is, and you don't even have to start with LPP. LPP is, one of the first things we like to encourage people to do is to watch our videos. And because there's so many different trading styles, I want you to become familiar with the way that I trade. And if my videos and the way that I trade resonates well with you, then I think that you'll like LPP. When it comes down to the success rate, we have people, when we just started a swing trade challenge, which encourages blue chip companies focusing on position size and then averaging up when directions in your favor. We have people that within the first couple of weeks were able to have successful trades. But the focus isn't just getting lucky on 1 or 2 trades, but it's understanding what it is that you're doing so you can be self-sufficient. It's one of the main reasons that we don't tell people what stocks to buy, when to buy, and when to sell. We also have people that have jumped into trading and then they focus on very aggressive day trades. And, you know, at that point, you'll never see success, right?
Yeah.
Because if all you begin to obsess about is the money and you're not giving yourself enough time to test and practice and learn, then you're truly just like in any market. You're not giving yourself a chance to really, you know, have a full understanding of what the market offers in comparison to the risk involved.
Gotcha.
The market, in my opinion, it can be so risky with trading options, which I personally don't do. Trading lower cap stocks, meme stocks was a big thing, right? So much money to be made, but also at what cost?
Yeah.
I would rather encourage everyone. There's a way that anyone can learn how to trade for free. It's called paper trading. Pick anyone that you like on YouTube. It's a free way on how you can open up a trading account. It's free money, and it allows you to trade real stocks.
Paper trading.
Paper trading. So it's
Is
like
this a platform? Is this a...
it's a simulation. A lot of trading platforms
simulation.
offer this service. Some are free. Some cost like $2 a month.
So this is you're doing it, but you're not really investing.
You have
in
no
it.
money on the
Right.
line, so you can take on, like, let's say you watch my videos. Let's say you watch someone else's. You can have your paper trading account, and you can, based off of the stocks they talk about and the way that they trade, you can test and practice each and every
great.
trading style.
Awesome. Yeah.
See which one you see the most consistent success with.
Sure.
And then once you have an understanding, you've built experience, then you can transition into real money. There's no reason, like, if you want to start, there's no reason you can't start.
What is the LPP?
LPP is the people that get to watch me trade live every day. So it comes with full access to our A to Z course, daily live trading sessions, and then we have our group chat. And then they get access to our HQ.
So what, you go like on Zoom every day?
It's a private live stream every day for 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
That's awesome. How many people are on that?
So we have a couple thousand.
Incredible.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And the question is to start seeing success. So with those 2,000 people, is there an average that people start? Okay, I'm going to start with $1,000, and then you know what I mean.
We just started. The issue with me on that is the start seeing success. My thing is anyone like. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, within the first like 1 to 2 months you can start seeing success, because
right.
yeah, but the thing is it's consistency. We started rewarding our Learn Plan Profit members that have had over $1,000 days and $10,000 days.
Awesome.
And we just sent out. We started it last month, so it had to be profits moving forward. So the month of December, and we're set to send out over 70 plaques for our LPP members of people that have cleared over $1,000 on a day, and then I think there's like 3 that have cleared 10,000. But again, it takes money to make money.
For sure.
So it's not just that they started, that they just put money in something and then had those quick successes. I would rather you start with $500, or I'd rather you start with paper trading, $500. Then once you understand and know what you're getting yourself into, then you can scale into it. Then when you begin to trade with $10,000 or $25,000, the $1,000 days are not as difficult.
Do you feel like you can build in enough principles into your strategy where you can have the comfort of knowing that it'll work long term, or it's going to work? You know what I mean? Like in our business, we know if we talk to 200 people, we'll get a deal. You know what I mean? Like, we have a good quality conversation. We hunt, we eat what we kill, right? We can go out and be proactive. But I feel like with this, what control do you have? You can only control the trades that you do, right?
Correct.
So how do you not feel anxiety all the time?
It's the way that you can control it would be based off of the niche that you would choose to focus on. I want to give you an example. So I have a big focus on tech. That's my focus. It's not, I'm saying that's for everyone, but year over year, in the past year, or I think for the past 2 years, ever since the bottom of the pandemic, the NASDAQ market, ever since it began to recover and where we're at right now, or when it made previous highs, which was just last month, TQQQ is a triple leveraged ETF. So when the NASDAQ market goes up 1%, this goes up 3%.
Okay.
And you guys can, again, look it up.
Right.
TQQQ has gone up, if I'm not mistaken, over 200% in 2 years. We also have a big focus on very bullish companies. And just, again, right now, everyone continues to ask, like, why are we so certain that the market's going to recover? Market's dropping right now. We're looking at companies like Crocs. You would have never guessed, but Crocs, year over year,
like the shoes?
Like the shoes, the holy shoes, right? They've gone up over 1,000% in the past year. We're not talking about AMC. We're We're not talking about Tesla.
Right.
But these are companies that you would have never guessed. Lululemon.
Yep.
Nearly 200% year over year. They're one of the companies that did amazing before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic. Those are the type of companies that our group focuses on.
Cool.
It's not about trying to make so when asking the question, how is it that you can, after, your example of 200 people, that I can expect at least this set result.
Yeah.
It's playing with the direction of the overall market. And when the overall direction of the overall NASDAQ market for tech has been so bullish year over year, it's not that the market has to recover right away, just like right now. People are uncertain, as you should be, right? Mm-hmm. But it's the decisions that you make now during the worst that can prepare you for the best, right?
Cool.
And I think that's the way that we view it, where we always try to focus on direction and price action for the overall market.
Wow.
Awesome.
Dropping bombs.
There you go. Jay, here we go.
Hey, Ricky, how much did you start out with day trading and how old were you?
2,500.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yep.
And grew that to, no, you don't have to disclose, but enough. grew that really well. So, and then are you taking your profits from real estate, from flipping cars, from flipping a plane? Or I think, right? You flipped a plane?
I'm funding it so it's like a hard money loan.
You're in
for
the
that
process.
plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're being the bank. With that, with the returns that you're getting from that, are you putting it back into the market?
So I will.
Or are you keeping them in silos?
When it comes down to my trading account, I try to keep, for my Fidelity account, I try to keep less than $1 million in there. When it comes down to my current Webull account, I try to keep under 200,000. So anytime I surpass that, people always like to ask of like, well, are you going to continue to try to compound your money? It just doesn't work that way after you get to a certain point. Like I'm only comfortable, right? When asking the question for like real estate, I feel like this would be a good analogy. I'm very comfortable flipping a house within the $300,000 to $400,000 range. I can, not just at my best, I like the return, but also at my worst, I can manage and mitigate risk and I can stay controlled. And I think that's a big question to always ask yourself. It's not just about always compounding, because you're going to get one time to a certain point where in a not so perfect world like we live in, there's huge emotions that come with trading with that much more money. And I've experienced it where like I can handle myself very well when I'm trading with 100K and I might be down 5%. I can handle a $5,000 loss. I'm trading with $1 million and then I lose 5%. Again, that's going to be a tougher pill to swallow.
Sure.
So it's just understanding the position that you're putting yourself in and making sure that you don't try to scale too quickly, which again, I'm human. I've made those mistakes many, many times. But again, the biggest thing is like, it doesn't matter how much money I made last year, last month, last week, yesterday. The market presents new challenges every single day. And I think that's why I enjoy it so much.
Sure.
Because it's like, yeah, I wake up, I do the same thing every single morning, but it's so exciting because sometimes it's always just a little bit different.
You ever go on vacation?
Of course.
There's days you don't trade.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was not a confident yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, there are for sure days that, I mean, when the market's bearish, it doesn't make sense for me to trade, right? But
I mean, like you're going out on vacation.
No, I'll still look. Yeah. It's an issue. It's an issue with Rachel.
From your phone?
Yeah. I follow up with it. So, I mean, my thing is like, I have to be plugged in with social, with the market, with Discord, like everywhere I go.
Right.
So it's definitely, especially now about to become a father, I want to have a good or more healthy work-life balance. So definitely an area of opportunity and a big goal for me for 2022.
Can I give you some advice?
Let's see it.
There is no balance.
Yeah.
There's only harmony.
All right, Rachel, you heard that?
Yeah. There is no balance. There's only harmony.
Good.
There's only harmony for real. And it's just finding that harmony within your tribe.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? That's it. So your brain's just built different. Your DNA's different. You know what I mean? It's just I get it. I totally get it. But it's but I also think that hustle is a season. It's not a lifestyle. So a couple words of 40-year-old wisdom there for you.
I like it. I appreciate it.
There we go. Glenn, Brent, thank you for TTP. I'm about to build 32 houses, all because of talking to people. My second deal. Let's go. Well, wow. Glenn, I'll tell you what.
That's a pretty good one.
I don't know if that's your real picture. That
32.
looks like the...
Peaky Blinders.
Congratulations,
Right.
Glenn. Congratulations, 32 houses. Go
Wow,
get him,
that's
brother.
awesome.
That is absolutely fantastic. Congrats, Glenn. Yeah, you know it. Listen, I'm going to Tulum in a couple weeks, bro. I'm on straight size mode, okay? This is going to be crazy.
Protein.
I was like,
It's all volume.
Let's
It's all
let's
volume.
give credit. I was like, no, I was obviously you are pretty big. I was like, but you're next to Ryan and I.
Dude.
Well, that's how I set it up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, come on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. The honest, Peter, the real honest investor asks, how did you get your first deal? Dividend in yields. I'm not exactly sure who that's towards, but we can go round table. So,
Yeah.
Albert, start with you,
First
brother.
deal.
Yep.
I knocked on the door
Yep.
when the owner showed up. This was a rundown house. I was next to a property that I was working on, and I knew the city was coming down on him for the yard. And when I saw an extension cord running out of the house, I'm like, that's not a lawn service. That's the owner. They will always come with gas power tools. And I saw it. I'm like, this is the owner, 100%. Walked straight up to him. This was this like 6'4", like a burly guy. Right? I'm not a big guy, so walking up to him, I was a little intimidated.
Sure.
3 weeks later, I got him to the signing table, and that deal was bought and sold.
Love it.
That's how that one. And
Love it.
the rest is history. Here I am.
Ricky,
So my first deal for
real estate.
real estate.
Yeah.
So it was actually, nothing glorious like that.
Sure.
It was sent to me by Lenny. So it was a double wholesale. So it was double wholesale to us. And people are normally like, again, we actually talked about it where like someone else is making money even with the deal that you're about to take. If the margins and the numbers make sense, that's what it came down to. It was a very conservative. I think the house was in the low $300,000 range. It was in Peoria. And we went into this flip, Nick and I, with if we break even, we're okay with it. We walked away with, I think, $24,500 profit.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yep.
And that was a referral from somebody that you met on Instagram. Did
It
you meet
was.
Lenny from Instagram?
I met him in person first and then through
Got it.
Instagram, but
Okay.
he was like the guy that I was doing the hard money loans for. So again, my story for my first deal, definitely not the best.
That's cool.
For sure. For me, I had closed 4 deals when I was like an ISA, but I don't really count that as like my first deal. My first one was actually
What's an ISA?
I was an inside sales agent. So I was the guy basically just hitting the phone, setting up the agents to go do the appointments for me. So even though they were technically like my closings on a team, I didn't really consider this my first. My first was when I left, I got my mentor. It was actually my mom. She ended up buying an investment property in downtown Chandler, and that was my first deal.
Awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Mine, door knocking. Similar to Albert there. I was coming out of the recession and just lost it all, and had to fight and claw out of that hole, and some judgment and a big judgment on me for an office lease that I didn't pay. And so I was just door knocking, didn't have the budget to do anything else, went out there. And it's amazing when you start talking. There is a neighbor in every neighborhood that knows everything about every house.
Absolutely.
And I found her. She was on the corner, and she was the caretaker of a property down the street. It was a vacant house. Vacant house. I mean, I'm telling you, go after vacant houses. Go after ugly houses. Ugly houses, big checks. That is the whole mantra. Ugly houses, big checks. Just go after it.
I thought it was keep it clean, keep it nasty.
No, well, that was last week.
Oh, that was the last
That was last week.
Keep it
That
clean,
was last
keep it
week.
nasty.
Yeah.
Don't ask.
Still talking about houses or?
No, life.
Life, yeah.
Yeah,
just
of course.
life.
Yeah. There you go. Colia.
Yeah. What do you think of New Jersey for wholesaling? I've got a buddy of mine, shout out to Ricky Morgan, that absolutely crushes that market. So there's plenty of opportunity out there. It just depends, I think, on which like city you're looking in. So they've got some weird laws out there in New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey's fantastic. Listen, anywhere that you have older property, every market is fantastic.
Correct.
I like New Jersey because it's got a good price point. Listen, we average 10% on our wholesale deals of the ARV. So if you're going into a market that's 300,000-400,000, that's 30-40 grand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I like the size of those deals there versus a market that is less expensive.
For sure.
So yeah, New Jersey's fantastic. Yeah, shout out to Billy Alvaro out there. He is crushing. Elliot Lucas, you probably have it by now, but what's your dream car?
I think that one's for Ricky.
Yeah.
I think it's for all of us.
I
Let's go
think we
around.
should each say.
Let's-
So
yeah.
my dream car when I first was getting started was the GTR. It was the only car that when I purchased was the most like surreal. Everything else other than that, I bought for the intention to resell. So although it's super cool and they're 10 times the price, it's not about that. My dream car was a GTR. I fell in love with it during the Fast and the Furious series, and I bought that when I was 21.
Awesome.
You're an OG with that.
Albert,
Yeah.
hit us.
GTR. I think you actually had this, Ricky, if I remember. It was the yellow Mercedes GT, but I'm looking at the Mercedes GT 4-door coupe.
It was actually my business partner, Nick Polidino, had a GTS.
GTS, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
That's beautiful.
For me, yeah, I think I'm not really a car guy. I have been going back and forth. There's a buddy of mine, Anthony, that's been pushing me to get a Ferrari recently.
Mm-hmm.
Delayed gratification. So right now, the dream car is a Raptor.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Completely pivot, but yeah.
Well, I got one of those. And that my dream car is still a dream because it hasn't been invented yet, which would be an electric Raptor.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm talking about. It's got to be coming, right?
Yep.
They have the
They got the new
F-150 Lightning.
Lightning,
It's
yep.
got to just
Yep.
keep on going up to that Raptor. I thought it was going to be the Cybertruck, but then I was like, guys that drive trucks are going to be like, look at this asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I've been driving this truck for a couple years. I should get some street cred.
But what's going to change?
I can't
with the
park
Raptor,
it well,
though?
but
What's going to change between an electric Raptor and the electric, whatever the Tesla one was?
the Cybertruck?
Yeah, Cybertruck. So what's the difference? Like, what's
No,
the,
I agree. I'm not a big truck guy, but I have to say when the Raptors came out, those are dope.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean,
Right.
I love driving. It's like you're in first class all the time. You know
And
what I mean? 'Cause
Tesla.
the seats are big.
Yep.
And you got space and the whole thing.
captain's chair, man.
And so, yeah. Or a tricked out Sprinter van.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know?
those look nice.
Tricked
Yeah.
out,
Oh,
yeah, something that's really just nice and awesome. But
sure.
yeah, an electric Raptor when it comes out in whatever 2025. That's
You'll
gonna
be first
the
in line.
that's gonna be the one. I'll put down a deposit on that right now. All right, Ford,
Ford, hook
you
it
heard
up.
me right here. Oleg, here we go.
So I'm
Go
part
ahead.
of LPP Group and have been in the team for years. He's the best. Appreciate that, Oleg.
How about that?
There you
I
go.
like
That's
it.
A little
something.
support from
Good.
Oleg. That's fantastic. So you're building your own tribe.
Of course, trying to keep up with you.
That's it. Well, I love it. I think that it's so fantastic that people get to see you do it. You know what I mean? It's
No one
it's
else has ever done that.
it's
before, I've
it's a
seen.
very unique opportunity because it's an industry where you know people could literally be over your shoulder and see the action going on. I mean, we do some things where it's like live cold calling or it's live lead follow up or some things like that, but it's like you get a lot of nobody answering or it's brief conversation, so it's like kind of not the most exciting
Right.
content
Correct.
in the world, you
Yep.
know what I mean? But being able to peer over your shoulder for somebody that wants to do this on a daily basis.
I think it goes hand in hand too. Sometimes like today was really exciting because market was going up, but past 2 weeks, like let's not sugarcoat that. It also isn't very exciting where like we're literally just sitting on our hands.
You're not doing anything.
Because we're not really doing
Got it.
anything. So it all goes hand in hand. But I think the biggest reasons that like our LPP group has been so successful is we're one of the only people that trade live every morning. And then on top of that, at the end of the day, when someone's trying to trade and if they're just getting started, they want their questions answered in real time.
Yeah,
So I think that's one of the other big values that follows with the live trading sessions.
love it.
So if someone wants to join this LPP program, where do they go for that?
So message me on Instagram. So first, there's so many fake Instagram accounts. There's like over like 15, I think we counted. I have one Instagram
Really?
account.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
all the time I see that. Yeah, they all follow me,
who
and I'm like,
makes these?
Yeah. So for every finance YouTuber,
Yeah.
they have a plethora of just fake accounts. So I never message you first. I never message you asking for money. I have 192,000 followers, and you can scroll back and see my oldest post. Message me on Instagram. Tell me that you want to get started.
What is your actual Instagram? We'll put it on the
So
screen.
it's it's that one. So Ricky Guitierrez
That
with
one.
2 Z's. But Gutierrez is such a difficult last name to spell.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, message me on Instagram and I'll send you a paper trading free video on YouTube on how you can start trading for free. You can watch a couple of my videos, but nonetheless, if you like the way I trade, great. If you like paper trading but then want to learn from someone else, great too, right? I just want you to know the available resources that are available for free, and then you can transition into, wanting to double down on it.
what's the cost?
For LPP, LPP is $4.99, so it's
Wow.
a lifetime.
So for $500, you could be watching you live trade every day.
So the people.
Is that a month?
No, it's a one-time payment and
What?
then
Wow.
access to it first. So the people that
Holy
signed up
cow.
back in 2018, They got access. We actually just updated it in 2021, so 3 months ago.
Awesome.
And they get access to all the updates. They get access to everything. So yeah.
And there you are.
You know what, Handra? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking his shirt would look good with a rectangle box that said LPP, huh?
That's hilarious.
You know what I'm
Seems very
saying?
original.
Wow. There we go. I'm telling you, you know.
People didn't comment on the black shirts.
Yeah, did they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It seems
everybody.
like
That Ricky likes to wear black shirts, which is funny
I've-
because Brent always wears black.
I
15
wear
of
this
these.
shirt every day, Ricky.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have 15 of these. These are Top Men shirts, 15 of them.
There you go. Right?
He's got 15 TT.
Well, I've got 1,000 of them in my closet right there. We'll make sure Ricky gets one. So follow Ricky on Instagram. Let's keep this rolling. Julian asks, hey, Brent, and good morning to you and the crew, but I got a list of ugly houses from driving around. What's the best way around to get the owner's number? Great question, Julian. BatchSkipTracing.com. BatchSkipTracing.com. Make sure that you get it into an Excel file. Okay, so I don't know if you were literally just driving around. I would highly suggest for the $50 a month or whatever it is, it's for Deal Machine. Dealmachine.com. Use that coupon code TTP because it is the biggest discount that they give. And that does all the work for you. You go on your computer, you pull out the Excel, you put it into batch skip tracing, bippity boppity boo. You get it back instantly. You got the phone numbers. I would suggest you call the first two numbers that come back on that list. Get rid of the rest. First number is going to be 88% correct. The second number is going to be 10% correct. So between those two, it's 98%. If you don't want to spend a lot of time with dead phone numbers or fax machines or calling the wrong people, stick with the first two numbers and you'll be rocking and rolling. All right, there you go.
I like that.
Did you buy Zillow when it tanked? LOL, Michael asks.
So no, Zillow. No, it reported earnings, and it was actually one of the worst earning reports because Zillow, as I'm sure you guys heard, they closed their buyback
Yeah,
program. Right.
that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yep. So no, we made a video about it as it was selling off. But one of the things that we always say is like the cheap can get cheaper. So knowing that it is super oversold, it is super cheap, but if there's no indication of a recovery, there's no reason to try to have to guesstimate, when's the right time to buy. Anytime that the market sells off in any stock, not just Zillow, but there's right now we're actually entering earnings season. So a lot of banks just reported earnings. So Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, a lot of those tanked. Instead of trying to predict the future, set those alerts. And once they begin to recover, then that's when you can choose to follow up with them and then average up into them if they make sense.
Love it.
Awesome.
There you go. Great question. CEO asks, listen to Wholesaling Inc. podcast, but haven't gotten my first deal yet. What should I be doing other than listening to the podcast and watching YouTube videos? Also small budget. Well, talking to people. That's it. That's all you have to do. You have to consistently get on the phone with property owners that are in distress, whether it be pre-foreclosure, tax default, tired landlord, tired multifamily, vacant land. I mean, there's probably a dozen different really solid reasons why people will trade a potential equity in their property for speed and convenience. So find them. You do not make money listening and watching. You make money taking what you listen and watch and putting it into action.
Yep.
Put it into action. Just get crazy with it. If you've never called anybody and your amygdala is hijacking your brain because you're scared and you've got anxiety and you've got stress and you don't want to be rejected, let your frontal lobes go logic on this thing and understand you have 200 good quality conversations. You're going to find an opportunity, and the average deal size around the country is $15,000. So do the math.
That's crazy.
Yep. Do the math on that. That is less than 8 deals to make 6 figures in a year. I mean, let's call it 8 deals. That's talking to 1,600 people this year. Divided by the amount of days that you want to work, and it comes down to about 7 new people that you need to talk to every single day. So you got this. Just hit those 7 new people. and squat up. Find somebody that's in this business. Don't do this alone. Don't do this in a dark room. Don't do this hunched over your computer. Don't do it with the lights off. Stand up, lights on, smile, have happy energy in your tone of voice, and you will win.
Yes, sir.
I think it's pretty. I mean, I love the idea and the goal of like the 6 figures, but if you think about it, like even with how like first off, it's super difficult to source a deal, right? But even you said the goal of like 6 or 7, I would say even aiming for like 50,000. If you think about like, you know, oh, I'm going to dedicate 2 to 3 hours every day consistently, which is still not that much in comparison to, you know, a normal job.
Yep.
You source and actually find, you know, what, 3, 4, 5 deals, being able to hit that 50, 60K threshold. It's like keeping it realistic, setting realistic goals. And then once you get that first one down, you know, that's a
Proof
rest
of concept. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's just like, it's so crazy to know that we live in a world, just like you said, if the average deal, or you said smallest deal is 15,000. That is insane.
Average.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Average deal in Phoenix, 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Average deal in San Diego is like 60.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends on what the median home sale price is.
That's right.
All you need is one. I mean,
Yeah.
just get that first deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So going after your first deal, it's just putting in the work now. You need to have an honest, hard look at your schedule and determine, I have 168 hours this week.
Right.
How do I find 20 for this business? 20. That's it. That's what you need to do. And I'm telling you, you become obsessed with this business. You become obsessed with finding and sourcing discounted properties and getting that income coming in, and then you can replace your job, your 9 to 5. Now you've got a whole lot of schedule to fill in with building your business here. And then you start building it, and that's, you know, our income, our being rich is making that income, getting that income coming in. That is fantastic. But you have to earn that. Your income is equal to the amount of value you provide to the marketplace. But then you invest in assets, and those assets work for you. All right? That's how you build wealth. Let your money make baby monies. Just like Ricky makes baby girls. There you go.
Oh my God.
Marina,
All right.
can we turn on that air, by the way, Matt? I see you sweating.
I think this one's cool.
How are you guys doing that? Deals from the MLS.
Oh man! All right,
Marina.
So yeah, this is obviously our specialty. For us, a lot of it, what I always put as a disclaimer, I understood how agents thought, communicated, and more importantly, did their business. So for me, being able to put myself in an agent's shoes and understand where they were coming from, and when I called, what they were most likely going to say to whatever I was going to say, it made the conversations much easier for me. So obviously, MLS deals, a lot of people have this misconception that you can't get them. I'm telling you, we had 14 in the last 2 weeks.
How many?
14. We've got
For how much?
Dude, we're clearing over 200. So, and that's in 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks of business. That is just for people to understand. The marketing budget of that is $0. There's zero cost to it. So for me, it's just like when you're talking direct to seller. It's a numbers game. It's consistent action on a daily basis, making the right phone calls to the right agents. So we like to target the listing agents specifically. We call them, just build rapport, figure out what's going on with the property, why it hasn't sold. Is it the seller? Is it a situation? Just like when you're going direct to seller, you got to figure out their motivation and situation. From there, it's just a numbers game. Like I said, submit as many offers as you can. I tell you my KPIs is 5 offers a day, is 25 a week, is 100 a month. Our numbers are a little bit higher than what I would say the average is.
Say that again real quick.
5 offers a day is 25 a week, is 100 a month. Again, our numbers are a little bit higher than average, but we'll get about like 15 to 20 accepted. We'll close on 7 to 10 of those. For average, I would say most people are probably going to get about like 12 to 15 under contract. Understanding closing or canceling on these deals is going to be a very normal process at the beginning because you're probably locking up a little too high. But if you're getting 12 to 15 under contract, you should at least be closing on 1 to 3. So if I'm telling you at 100 offers a month, you're closing on 1 to 3. That is life-changing money, especially if our average out here is 15,000. Even if you go a little bit lower on the MLS and say 7,500.
Okay. Well, you get commissions too.
Well, we do too. But even if they were to go direct to the listing agent, 3 deals changes your life.
Yeah.
Changes your life.
Yep.
I
Don't worry,
remember-
Ryan's going to be coming out with stuff.
Yeah, I remember I did a video with Ryan, and I had no idea that that was even possible. And I think that's one of the coolest things of being able to connect with people like, you know, you guys that are absolutely killing it in the real estate market, and that at the end of the day, like each one of you has your own edge, right?
Sure.
And I think that's great for everyone watching, is to not be afraid to explore all avenues.
Absolutely.
But to understand, like, just like we talked about, it's always ideal to have that bread and butter.
Yep.
You got to find your lane, stay in it.
Yep.
That's it.
All right.
Ralph, I'm waiting for more videos from your YouTube channel. Keep up the great work. The streets is watching. There you go.
Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, we're working on content this year. That's gonna be my go-to.
Get loud.
Like Brent said,
That's
we
it.
got some stuff in the works right now. Can't really get into too much of it, but we got some stuff coming.
How much of your day is in front of a camera, Ricky? An hour? 2 hours?
No.
5 hours?
Well, my morning live
All day.
trading session's 30, 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then I upload a video that's probably 6, 7 minutes. And then if I have to film at our HQ, I'd probably say an hour
Awesome.
Wow.
Every day, though.
every day.
And that's how you grow your audience. That's how you grow your message.
I
That's
used to
how you grow.
upload 2 videos every day
Right.
for about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
So not including my daily live trading sessions. Those are 2 public videos, so I guess 3 videos every day.
And would you edit them yourself?
No, it's
I
just
go
what was gonna
live.
ask.
Yeah.
So I go live on a majority of my videos. So I don't have
Love it.
the headache sometimes of
Yeah.
having to edit, but I have a full-time filmer and editor. So
Okay.
anytime that anything needs editing, then he takes care of it.
Awesome. Rob, hey Brent, I'm 20 years old. I'm a 20 years old college student that has closed $50K worth of deals in 7 months.
Dang.
In the process of closing a 5-house portfolio, will net 100,000 plus assignment fees to us. Come on,
Let's
Rob.
Go.
Come on, Rob.
That's how you do it.
Come on, 20 years old. I'm gonna call you. That is incredible. This drives Ricky crazy. It's a new bell. Like that old bell wasn't as crisp
it was a
as this.
train.
But
Sounds like a train.
congratulations, Rob. Wow, 20 years old, 150,000
Wow.
within
8 months,
probably a
looks like,
year.
yeah, that's insane.
Under a year
Insane.
in college. That's fantastic.
No excuses.
I'm telling you, we have some serious audience members. We have some serious people doing some amazing things. Congratulations. We support you. Keep it going. Keep the money. Keep the money.
No roll
Invest it in assets. Invest it in yourself. Invest it in assets. Keep the money and get loud, Rob. Tell people what you're doing. Tell people that you're excited. Show them that you're going through it. All right? Greg, what was the first car you flipped? Kind of random, but seen you and that sweet Ferrari at the gym. Congrats on the baby girl, man.
Appreciate that, Greg. So my first car that I ever flipped was 100% because of my brother. And it was a salvage title Honda Civic, 2013 Honda Civic. The first car that I ever flipped myself. First supercar was supercar was an MP4 12C, and I partnered up with someone on that flip.
Cool.
So that was a McLaren MP4 12C.
So where do you find these cars?
Instagram.
What?
A lot of
Oh
them
my
are.
God.
I
No
swear,
way.
dude. Like
Wow.
almost. Yeah. We also I used to be very proactive, or I used to look on Craigslist, OfferUp, Letgo, when I had more time to focus on that. Now when it comes down to these supercars, it's word of mouth. All the videos that I like to post, especially as I began to see that a lot of people began to post supercars, and then as people began to do better, I didn't want to be oh, look at me in my supercar. I started posting videos of I bought the cheapest GTR, I bought the cheapest McLaren, and I wanted to encourage people that just because you did well doesn't mean that you have to blow it right away, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I get a lot of these deals, so 80%, especially supercar deals, all through Instagram. Yeah,
What, people just hey,
they send it to me.
what do you think about this deal?
I got sent.
Do you want to partner up? Is it like that, or the sellers of these?
Yeah.
No, it's not normally. I normally don't know the person. They're normally students or just people in other states.
Yeah.
And they post on their social media, or it's word of mouth. I also have partnered up with some smaller dealerships in the area that anytime that they don't want to take on the car, if it's too expensive, then that's where I come in and I pay cash.
There you
I
go.
try to get the best
How
deal.
do you build those relationships? Did you call them up?
No, Instagram.
They reach out to you?
They follow me, and then I'm yeah, and anyone that I don't yeah, dude, I've gotten sent I don't know who you are. The guy that originally messaged me that sourced, what was it? That sold one of my GTRs for me. So I didn't even post it for sale. He took care of the sell. He was a guy, I didn't know who he was. he would respond to my trading stories all the time of like all the different trades that I would take. And then one day he was like, hey man, if you ever need help, I can take care of the sale. I have a potential buyer for the GTR. It was a 2015 GTR. And I was like, yeah, I'll sell it. How much? Like at that time, 65,000. It was for a 2013 or 2015. It was the blue with a carbon. I don't know if you guys, for those that followed me, had a carbon hood. And 3 days, I think it took him, and he sold it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he didn't ask for any commission. I'm pretty sure his like he made a difference off of it. But
Could you imagine if you never turned the camera on you? You know what I mean? Can you imagine if you never started building your social media or your YouTube channel?
It's so like, it is, you can't, I mean, because again, too much of anything can become, counterproductive.
Of course.
Right.
But when you have this like really like healthy balance where I view Instagram as such like a powerful platform, and now TikTok. So now that's an avenue that we're trying to expand on.
Sure.
It is reaching people and connecting with them in a valuable way. When you're of value to them and then they can become a value to you, that's building like a virtual complementing partnership.
Give value.
Yep.
It's not look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's like, watch me do this.
Yep.
Right?
And then if
It's not a bragging.
nope, never.
It's not a measuring contest. It's a this is how I did it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm telling you.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yep. Awesome. Good to see you, Greg. Ricky, you mentioned watching the market closely. How do you control your emotions during it?
That's a great question.
From Althea.
Yep. So Althea, if I'm not mistaken, she's part of our YouTube channel as well.
Awesome.
And I think the biggest thing, our biggest encouragement for anyone that is just getting started is position size. So let's say right now you buy the dip on Apple. Let me use Facebook as an example. Facebook right now is at 125. 125, even for the average person, if you were to buy one share, right? Apple normally trades at like 135 to 140. You buy the dip at 125. If you only bought one share and it continues to dip, you're not going to freak out. If you had a trade plan of I'm going to cut losses at 5%, I'm going to lock in profits at 10%, you'll stick to your plan because you're not trading to make money. You're trading to prove a proof of concept. But when you begin to trade with a lot of money, that's where the emotions come in. That is where I begin to see a lot of beginners just begin to break the rule. They formulate their trade plan, their entry, exit, stop loss, which is where they cut losses, and they don't follow through with it because they get hopeful. They are just scared of taking or accepting that loss. At the end of the day, you want to find, one of the things that we always like to encourage is find this middle ground. You want to have enough money where you feel motivated to take it seriously, but not so much that you become an emotional and irrational mess. So I think finding that balance is something that you have to work on, and it's different for everyone. For me, it might be a couple thousand, especially with my experience. For someone that might just be getting started, who cares if you buy one share? Like, prove it to yourself first that you can do this consistently, not just once, not just twice, and that you understand what happened. And then I would focus into, the scaling aspect.
Do you ever get emotional?
Of course. Oh my God, especially when it comes down to scaling with more money. Yeah. And even when I'm not trading with a lot of money, I get upset with myself. I'm like, oh man, I'm human. I make mistakes all the time. Fortunately, by watching my position size, I'm able to, really control how much money I give back. And even at worst case scenarios, I'm able to cut losses quickly because again, the biggest thing, and again, you'll learn this, especially if you begin to trade, even invest. Position size is everything, where it really controls your intention towards a position. Because when you're too heavy, even when things are going according to plan, even when things are going great, you're irrational. You're wanting to lock in profits. You're like, oh, just a little bit more. I want to hit $1,000. I'm at $995 profit, just $5 more. If you actually think about it, to make an extra $5 based on your P&L on what you're up or down on the open is irrelevant to the market. You should be trading based off of what the market's telling you, not what you want to make.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Wow. All right, from Attila. Did he have any mentor to work with? Did you have any mentors that kind of showed you the ropes of stocks? I think kind of what they're asking.
No. So everything was I learned everything through YouTube and through trial and error.
Wow.
But everyone, when I was first getting started, it's not like today, where you can literally learn almost everything.
So how did you get over that hump then? Because obviously, you said you started 2,500. Was there like learning lessons at the beginning that you like kind of scaled back and said, let me like reevaluate, or was there something specific
yeah,
that like
I mean, I start with 2,500.
Right.
The amount of times that I drained my account and then had to refund it, yeah, it definitely. I mean, this is. I think the like even from videos, like you can learn from our videos or like, hey, I made this mistake, don't do it. But until you make that same mistake, I think that's where you really take it super seriously, and that's where I really began to pick on like the do's and the don'ts, and oh my god, I just made quick amount of money trading these lower cap stocks, but I'm not consistent with them. They're too risky, they're inconsistent for me. Maybe this isn't a focus, especially if I'm trying to trade with more money. So again, doing all these transitions, this is why I feel like we've built this foundation for our viewers, where I don't care if you don't want to join like our trading group, even if you just come across one video, I just want to make sure that what we share encourages you to look out for yourself and to not be afraid to explore options, even if they're risky, but to do it in a calculated way.
Dope.
for sure.
Awesome.
Mm.
Oh boy,
Here we go again.
Arturo,
Here we go
Mr. TTP, second deal, 5K, assigned a foreclosure.
It's coming.
Just warming up. Thank you. Well, you know what I'm going to say, Arturo. First, congratulations. Second, let's add a 0 to that, bro.
Absolutely.
Let's add a 0 to that
That's
massive
incredible.
deal.
Incredible.
I have a theory. I don't even know if it's a theory anymore. I think it's a fact at this point here, Ricky, that when you make $50,000 from one phone call, from one deal, from something, it breaks your brain. It breaks your brain. All of a sudden, you start thinking bigger. Then you start thinking 100,000. Then you start thinking 250,000. Then you start thinking million. And then you really get going on this thing. So I want Arturo to break his brain as quick as possible. And I'm going to break this bell. Here we go. There we
Oh,
go.
Brent.
I think that's great. I would always refer back to anytime I'd make any money, I'd be like, oh my God, I'd have to work this amount of hours at Verizon. And that's what I would always
course.
correlate to.
That's
And
what I
then
do.
once you begin to
I-
hit
yeah.
the big numbers, you begin to, like, I think the Paradise Valley flip is a great example where like I made a number not based off of any effort, but based off of opportunity. I think that's huge for everyone watching. It's hard to break that mindset, but once you do, it's insane where the number begins to just become like this new challenge.
For sure.
It's not even
Dude,
about.
I did the same thing. Like every time I get a big check, I like start to reverse engineer. I'm like, minimum wage is this. This does have to be this many hours. And
Yep.
why do people do this? Like,
Yep.
but yeah, that's what breaks my brain with it.
Yep.
I get it.
Congratulations. Brandon, just got off the phone with my first lay down, squatted up with TTP's own, Johnny Jedry. Awesome, out of Missouri. Let's go squat up TTP, baby. Yes.
Love it.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you what, you talk to enough people, there's going to be that one. Typically for our company, it's every 90 days where it's just, come over. This is the price I want. If you can give it to me, it's done. The rest of them, we have to do a lot of lead follow-up. We got to talk to them a lot of times. We have to be in front of them for, typically 90 days minimum.
Yep.
But congratulations, Johnny will definitely take care of you out there. Great job squatting up. Keep us posted. Let me know what you make on that so that we can ring that bell, baby. There you go. And I appreciate, you know what, Matt? You know what I appreciate about you? You put this back a little bit further. You put this old thing back a little bit so I could get back a little further, not be right up in the grill of this thing. You know what? You know, Ricky, they told me they either turn you up or they turn you off. You know what I mean? That's the theory we have with
You got turned up.
with content. So it either drives you crazy to hear that bell or you get pumped.
Yeah.
You know,
Love
people
it.
love hearing it for when they celebrate. That's right. Wholesale question: what criteria are your landlord buyers looking for? Minimums on cash flow, long-term rentals, etc. Chris, that is a very broad question because it depends on where you are in the country. So what I would say is if you're in a cash flow, we're not a cash flow market here in Phoenix. Okay, so people will buy properties to rent here because they can kind of break even barely, but they're banking on appreciation over the next 20 years, right? It's a long-term play based on population growth, based on the industry and the economy that we have in Arizona, based on that we're in a state that's very pro-business. So people, want to invest here for the long-term appreciation. Now, if it's in other areas that it's more cash flow and you can buy a property for $80,000, rent it for $1,100, and your payment on it's $200 or $300 or whatever else, that is a different thing. So I would, the best way to find this out specifically in your area is talk to your cash buyers and say, what are you looking for? In most areas, the 1% rule works, meaning if they buy it for $100,000, they expect $1,000 a month, which is 1% is the monthly rent that they get. But there's some areas that they want 3 to 5%. Because the price point of those properties are pretty low.
You don't find those out here.
No. So it just depends on where you're at, Chris. Best thing, if you're running across those tighter deals that would be great for a renter, or maybe they already have a long-term lease in play, then talk to your cash buyers and just ask them, what are you looking for and what percentage are you looking? And they'll know what you're talking about. Great question, though. Those are great buyers, because remember, when we're wholesaling properties, the lowest that you're going to make is selling it to another wholesaler. All right, and then above that is your fix and flipper. Above that is your portfolio rental buyer, and then above that is somebody that's going to actually live in the property, which is fantastic. So you've got kind of a hierarchy of cash buyers.
All right, from. Is that Asa? Hey guys, what is the best way to find end buyers? I often find that calling realtors hasn't gotten me a whole lot of results. What's that website you got?
Well, there is, first of all, there is ttpinsider.com. We've got a free download there. It's called the Cash Buyer Pack. Definitely get that. It's going to show you how to get your top 100 buyers, but you can do a lot of damage on LinkedIn. You go LinkedIn, Phoenix real estate investor, Phoenix real estate developer, Phoenix wherever, you know what I mean, Phoenix wholesaler, whatever it is, that's a great way. You want to connect with your title and escrow companies and any closing attorneys around the country and ask them who you should be working with. You're bringing great deals. You want to work with them, but you want to work with their best clients as well, so they'll refer you that. Also, hard money, private money lenders have a list of people that are real and that'll close on deals and that are looking for deals all the time. And then you can be brave if you really want to get into a little bit of brain damage. You can go down to the foreclosure auctions and wait for a pause in that action and go talk to the people that are bidding down at the foreclosure auctions, because they represent a lot of cash buyers. But get that cash buyer pack. It's all outlined there, and it's action items so that you can just start implementing right away. Awesome. Anthony Gould, TTP family here. Go ahead.
All right. When you make contact, whether yes, no, or maybe, do you have your team delete all other numbers besides the contact number? That's a really good question. Obviously, if you have success with contacting them through that number, I mean, that's the number that I would just keep calling. I wouldn't go and target the other ones. The only way I think I'd go down that road is if, for whatever reason, they stopped responding.
That's it.
The second or third number might be a relative or another number they might have. So.
If you're doing your lead follow-up in your dialer, sure.
Right.
But keep the records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In case
don't delete them.
in case they want to, kind of get slippery. You know what I mean? Ghost you a little bit. So there might be another number to catch them on. So yeah, I would keep them around. But if you're doing your lead follow-up from your dialer, sure. Absolutely, Juan. 1,000%.
All day, every day. That's where I started.
Yep. DM either of us.
You buy in Tucson?
I haven't, but if the numbers make sense, right?
There you go.
Right answer. Right answer. Yep.
Luis, I know you have. Luis in the house. TTP student recently made 75,000. He really did. This was I remember going through this. He's got a $7,500 check as well. It was a multifamily deal that he did. Phenomenal deal. Luis gets some really great deals.
He added 0, like you said.
In the Midwest. Congratulations, Luis. We will have you on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. Look out for that. We'll get the whole scoop on that $75,000 deal. Congratulations. $75,000 all net, baby.
Boom.
That's
all
beautiful.
net.
Dude, that's a
Huge.
lot of Rolexes.
Oh, boy. That's like an oil change for that Ferrari.
Oh, I hope it's not that much.
Hey, Brent, I'm looking to get my first contract signed tomorrow morning on a land deal. New constructions are selling above 320 to 350. Is it safe to say I could resell at 1/3 of those? No, you got to be under 20%. You got to be under 20% for those, Eddie. So get them down. Get them down. You're going to want to be, I wouldn't go high. I would probably try to get it, 60, 65,000 for a wholesale price, which means you need to be under that. So if it was our team, our minimum is 25,000. So we would be at 40 on those. So listen, Eddie, you can test it out. There might be somebody that sees potential in there, or they just want to buy it for their own. But 1/3, now you're spending, $100,000 to $120,000 on a piece of land that you now have to develop. And if it's $125 a square foot to build a house, depending on where you're at, that's kind of the average, 100 to 125, maybe more, especially if you're in like California. But in that price point, probably $125 a square foot. You're building a 2,000 square foot house. There's no profit.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no profit.
I like that you said that. I didn't know that
Yeah.
land should be around less than 20%.
20%.
Right?
Less than 20% is what a home builder looks at.
That's
yeah.
good. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Yep.
Brent, we gotta keep coming on the show, dude. This is amazing. We just keep getting deals every time.
I
We
know.
just got another one.
You got
now.
another deal.
Jacksonville.
What?
Yeah, I'm not a part of this one. I don't know how it's helped.
Who'd you
Brandon,
get a deal from in
We're-
Jacksonville?
MLS.
Let's go.
Brandon just got another one. Shout out to Brandon.
Nice
Who's
job,
Brandon?
He's my top acquisition guy.
Come on, Brandon.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Florida realtor.
He's
buyer deal.
feeling it. There
Buyer
we
deal.
go. Go ahead.
All right. From Crystal Cruz, does TTP only focus in on finding properties in their local market?
Anywhere, Crystal. The phone, you can use the phone to call anywhere. That's a beautiful thing about TTP. You can test out any market that you want. So go for it. Yep.
Good stuff.
Talking to people is universal. It is. I mean,
Not market
it's just
specific.
making sure that you're talking to distressed property owners. That's your focus. 5 more minutes with Ricky here, and then poof, you have to catch him on his channel, and there's going to be a hell of a lot more people watching that. So do you do comments, or do you just do it live and just rip and run in your show?
I do. During our live trading, I look at the live chat. But other than that, I really don't.
Right, but
Yeah.
are you answering that live chat questions, or you just like seeing what's happening?
During the live trading sessions, yes.
Yeah.
But during like the normal videos.
How many
no.
comments do you get during a live session?
Well, there's normally like,
How many people are live usually?
during the morning, 500 to 750
Awesome. Every day.
every morning.
Woo!
Wow.
Hear that, Matt? We got some work to
Wow.
do, huh? All right.
Love it.
That's fantastic. Adrian, when using a dialer, why does it seem like no one ever answers their phone, and when they do, it's a wrong number? Do you ever have problems with the dialers? That's why I did. That's why we moved over to batch dialer, because it just connects better. And make sure, Adrian, that you're only putting in the first 2 phone numbers of each address. That'll take that down a bit. All right. There you go. And that's it. Great show.
Great
Man.
show.
Look at that, Ricky. Fantastic.
I
Tell
appreciate
everybody again. I mean, we put up your YouTube channel. Is that the best way for them if they really want to like get into your world?
Or is
Is
it
YouTube
Instagram?
or is it Insta?
I would say Instagram is definitely more personal for me. I can't go through every comment on YouTube, but if you send me a message and give me like 24 hours, I'll get back to you on Instagram.
Cool.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty quick.
That's going to be bananas. All right, watch out. All right, here we go. Albert, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. What a show.
What a show.
Ricky, you bring a lot of good value to the show. It's really cool to see your backstory, how you have really changed your business, how it goes, and like your thought process behind everything. It's really intuitive to get into young entrepreneurs and see how they think, because it's completely against the grain of what these more seasoned, I will say, entrepreneurs have come and grown. So
Definitely.
it's refreshing. Thank you for being on the show. I wrote down a lot of good notes that you said.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah. Dude, thank you. Obviously, just reiterating, but.
By the way, how many people at your meetup?
We had 323 at the last one.
Did people come in from out of town?
We had 35 people that either flew in or drove in from another state.
Fantastic. I
So-
can't come February, but let me see if March will work.
Let's do that.
You gotta
And
try
that'll be
his tacos.
fantastic. Yeah, I'm
You gotta come
excited
and
about
talk
it.
to us, man.
I'm excited about
Yeah,
those
we'll
tacos.
have you March. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Ricky. Seriously, it's been a pleasure, dude.
course.
We'll do some deals.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome, guys. Go out there, be super proactive. Remember, just one. Let's put up the blueprint because we haven't got it in there. Here it is. Here's the Millionaire Before 30 blueprint. Do a deal. Do something.
Yep.
Bring in that income. Get the proof of concept, and then you are off and running.
Yeah, Ricky obviously is a perfect testament to this too. He was able to do the deals while still maintaining his other job, but then when he was able to transition full-time to the business, I'm sure you saw exponential results in growth.
Of course.
That's right. And stop being somebody else's ROI. Kill the debt.
Yep.
Interest. From January to October, the average American is paying income tax and interest. That means 2 months left over, just November and December for life, for saving, for all of these things, for trying to build some sort of assets. On 2 months, kill the debt, kill the consumer debt, credit cards, student loans, car debt.
Yep. You're back at square zero then. From there, what do? You're going to take the money that you are able to get from being full-time in the business. You're able to kill your debt. Then you invest into assets. These assets are going to be bringing in cash flow and be able to replace your income. And yeah, investing in assets is obviously the second to last step. But from there, you'll obviously get to the last.
Financial freedom.
Yep.
That's it. Financial freedom just means freedom of schedule. That means control over what you want to do.
That's the word.
So there it is. There is your Millionaire Before 30 blueprint. And apparently, everybo's asking Ricky to ring the bell.
Oh, boy.
So get it,
Right,
Ricky.
there you go.
I'll ring it for the deal that you just sourced.
Oh, yeah. There we
Oh.
go.
Jesus.
Gentle. Gentle. That's it. Until next week, guys. We love you. See ya.
Appreciate it.
Ran up a check, I might do it again. Enemies close, have me thinking they're friends. 10 toes down, I'll be free until the end. Crib outside the city, I don't feel safe in my hands. Took so many years, I'm just waiting for the wins. I'm in debt to no one but the one who took my sins. I do it for real, there's no reason to pretend. If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll.